Hello and welcome to Naughty Scares. This is a continuation of the Savese7en videos part 2.
Okay, so part 3B, we left off in 3A talking about how Seven had said that there's kind of an afterlife. We don't really see each other again in that afterlife because we all become seven, something like that. Seven then lists these names, and this kind of requires a quick story time. So the names are Etta Sue, Wallace, Tom, Jesus, and then he writes the number 7. So prior to talking to Seven for the very first time, we had been playing around with the Ouija board. Well, the whole thing had started with I think the cable was out or the electricity was out or something. We had nothing to do. So we decided to play poker and play Monopoly and all this stuff. We got bored and eventually we said, let's play with the Ouija board. So we did. And we asked, who's there? Who wants to speak with us? And, Etta Sue came through. And Etta Sue, we asked, when were you born? When did you die? What did you die of? And we got some really clear, coherent answers with math that worked. And the same thing happened with Wallace, and the same thing happened with Tom, and the same thing happened with Jesus. Unfortunately, I have none of these transcripts because later that night is when we had that first conversation with Seven. We got so freaked out by the whole backwards thing and just the whole conversation in general and just everything. We ripped up all of the notes. We were very close to burning the Ouija board. So I don't have any of these conversations with these individual, entities. But Seven seemed to be aware of those conversations. And so that's what those names are about. So Etta Sue, Wallace, Tom, Jesus, Seven, all home, but not separate, but seven. And so this is me just explaining pretty much what I just told you about these names. So this has always been very interesting to us. Don't really know what it means. Don't know if I believe it, but that's, it's interesting. So we asked, so ghosts are real? A part springing from the whole, and then a G, which I think might have been an error. If Earth dies, so does Seven. I guess that's assuming if the Earth dies, we don't get to see each other in the afterlife? No. How do we know that's not just something you're saying to motivate us? Because, it's a pretty scary idea, right? Trust me. How do we do this? Step. But we won't know if we've succeeded until we're dead. So, I think we were saying something like we won't know if there's an afterlife until we're either in it or not in it. Dead but seven. Boring. Cannot save. How will we know? You will know. Fear not, I am not a harbinger of death, but must listen to all around you. So this is where the poem happens. Let me break this down. Okay, had to make sure I was in frame. Fear not, I am not a harbinger of death, but must listen to all around you. The light around your eyes offset, it doth floweth like a dove, it bleedeth out his heart. He show her love upon his breast, a scabbard punches through, a lark, a lion leaping up to God. Forsooth, the liar little and his crew. So no idea what this means. You can make some inferences. You can put it in, I have put it in ChatGPT. And there's some messages that can be extracted, but I at the end of the day, I really don't know what Seven is talking about. And I really don't know where the line breaks go because at the time we had no punctuation on the board and it doesn't really rhyme. So it's hard to know what it was trying to say exactly. So, and because this was weird poetic language, we got a little concerned. We asked, Seven, is this you? In a way, one day if, maybe it's being funny. So I don't know. One day, TH, fun. So after that poem, we really didn't know what to make of any of it. And so we kind of circle back to the assignments that we were each given. And this is purple. My printer ran out of ink. But so purple gets a direct path and we don't. Yes. The steps get bigger. That's why we can't know our path. We're basically asking, can you give us some very exact instructions here because it's all very vague. Yes. And then the planchette rolls over goodbye. So it's a very strange ending, and we really never knew what to make of any of it. But that's what brings us the next conversation that takes place July 25th. In my opinion, this is, all of this stuff is really fascinating, the poems and all that. It's really interesting, and the Etta Sue and the Wallace stuff. It's fascinating, but to me, this is the real conversation where Seven imparts like real concrete information. And so I have gone over this before in my first video, but this is the typed up version. So I will get into that in part 4. And I hope to be able to sit down and do that tomorrow. I know that I'm going very slow for a lot of people. I'm not going at the pace a lot of people want, but I am a regular human with a lot of crazy stuff going on in my life. So, and it's life in general, I think for everyone is very crazy right now. So I am trying to get through this as quickly as possible. So thank you for being patient with me and tuning in. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Also, my husband has told me that if I continue with all of this, I really should get a new Lisa Frank folder. Unfortunately, I don't have the money for those vintage Lisa Frank folders. I don't know if you guys have ever checked them out on eBay. The ones from when we were kids, they're very, very expensive. I wish I had kept all of those from when I was little. I would be very rich right now. But anyway, this is what I have. I have the dolphins. Hopefully you don't get sick of them. I think they're cute. So anyway, thank you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
7 speaks in riddles and poetry, almost as if it's challenging Cassie and us to uncover hidden truths about existence, identity, and the fate of the earth. The names Itasu, Wallace, Tom, and Jesus seem to hold significance, yet their meanings remain elusive, adding to the mystery. Perhaps 7 isn't just a character, but a metaphor for the interconnectedness, mortality, and the fragility of life. 7 does seem to embody a blend of religious and esoteric themes. The reference to the afterlife, the concept of oneness or transformation into 7, and the mention of names like Jesus all evoke spiritual undertones. At the same time, the cryptic poems, the significance of names like Itasu, and the philosophical musing about Earth's survival and 7 not being a harbinger of death point to a more esoteric, mystical dimension. It feels like 7 straddles the lines between being a guide and a mystery, urging Cassie and perhaps the audience to interpret its layered message.
Okay, part 4, my 5th video with the transcripts. I'm going to try to move kind of quickly through this because there's a lot to get through. I'd like to make this just a one-parter. I don't know if I'll have time, but in my opinion, the conversation I'm about to share with you, and I've covered it before, but not like this. This is, I think, the most important conversation we've ever had with 7. So if there's any conversation I hope people pay attention to, it's this one. So it took place July 25th, 2013, and 7 opens with these words, which we looked into later, and we learned that he wrote salvete backwards, which is Latin for hello, and kyrete backwards, which is an ancient Greek kind of greeting, but also goodbye. What does that mean? Hello backwards, which is true. It means hello in a way. In what language? Learn. And we did. How are you? Well. Do you have a job? Really stupid question, but whatever. No. What do you do when you don't talk to us? Feel. I know you already know what questions, we're coming to you with today because we had pre-written questions. Yes. Should we go ahead and ask them? Yes. Why did you say fire yes the first time we spoke? It is coming, fire yes. Stop it. Even if we do stop nuclear war, the sun is going to explode one day. Yes. So isn't it the same result as if, the nukes went off, nuclear war? No. If the steps are taken, 7 lives like 947-632. So we covered that in my previous videos. So 947632 lives despite their explosion. They still fly. Through the stars, they still fly. Are they still on a planet? No. So what happens to spirits depends on how the earth dies, that conversation that we had about the afterlife. Yes, along. So does 7 start again? Yes. Does the infinite amount of earths begin again? No. Where does 7 go when 7 dies? Reborn only through love. Like with babies? No. Do you want to ask us any questions? No. He knows everything. Yes. And again, another stupid question. You don't know my favorite color. What's my favorite color? I will leave. Ask better. That's fair. Why will you leave? 5. And then here we guess, oh, is this the last time we can talk to you? Because this is our 5th time contacting you. 5 groups, 3rd contact. We're the 3rd group? Yes. So you're in contact with 4 other groups now? No. And this is where it gets really crazy. This is what I covered in my first video. Contact 1 failed 24,825 days ago. So here I've written it out. If you start from July 25th, 2013, and you subtract 24,825 days, and you account for leap years, you get August 6th, 1945, which is the day America dropped little boy on Hiroshima. So it just keeps coming. Contact 2 succeeded 18,534 days ago. So again, July 25th, 2013 minus 18,534 equals October 27th, 1962, which when you search that date, it's referred to as Black Saturday, which was the most tense day of the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's really fascinating if you look into it. Very scary. What about contact 3? You. Oh, right, okay. Historically, contact 3 fails 29,149 days after contact 1. So if you take August 6th, 1945, and you add 29,149 days, you get May 27th, 2025. And to keep flexing on us with his math, 7 then says 4,324 days in your future. So July 25th, 2013 plus 4,324 days equals May 27, 2025. From there, and all that craziness, and again, this is, all of the math is perfect, and that's accounting for leap years. He goes on to say, historically speaking, all save 7, and then we get into some ancient Sumerian stuff. So On 7, and On is we looked this up later, ancient Sumerian god of the heavens. Ninhursag 7. Ninhursag was the ancient Sumerian mountain or mother goddess. And then Sada Imedu 7, which means reach the mountain in ancient Sumerian, according to what we found when we Googled this. So pretty overwhelming, and we had to take a little break and Google things and just take a breather. When we decide to come back, this was the rest of the conversation. 7 says, welcome. And we're saying, I don't know about this. 7, fearful. We talk about the clock ticking down, how scary it is. Yes. How can we have fun and enjoy our lives now? You must. Can you at least sympathize with what we're going through? No. And then we say, okay, let's say we succeed. Isn't someone else just going to turn around and put us back on that same path? Isn't it inevitable? Contact 4. So, we kind of reiterate here, if we succeed, it goes on to contact 4. And if contact 4 succeeds, you'll go to contact 5? Yes. And if contact 5 succeeds, 947632. You'll be like 947632? Yes. If you should fail, it shall be done. 7 will be done? Yes. So all of the planets, for the most part, end in the same way. And then this is where 7 brings it back to that planet 741 that it exploded because of an accident, the sun. So 741 accident, the sun exploded. Right, aside from the accidents, there's a pattern? Yes. I am 7. It is my experiment. It is me. You are the experiment? Yes. How can we deal with all of this? How can we go on, with our lives? You are aware of your mortality, so why continue living? Is that a question? Yes. Is that to me personally, to us? I am 7. Should I not wish to? You want to live too? Yes. Humans all arise. I am, I don't know what that means. But why continue trying to save us? Humans are bad for the planets. Yes. A needed evil. But why do you need us? For what? We just ruin everything. The God step. Contact 5. I don't understand. The experiment is just a circle of us like messing up and you telling us to stop messing up. A path made crumbles by your hand. It is the duty of us all, the promised land. And then here the topic kind of changes. I don't really remember. Can ghosts choose not to go home to 7? You said they spring from the hole. 7 corrects me. Springing. Okay, springing. Sorry, not spring. Yes. Can there be bad dead? Can there be, bad ghosts? No. Then why are we scared of the dead? Fear. So how come we feel the dead in certain places but not everywhere? Timing. And then here the planchette starts doing this kind of like loopy thing just around the tips of around every letter. And we asked, why is it doing that? Fun. And we said, oh, you're fun now? How come you were so serious earlier? Important. So wait, is that all of the important stuff that we were allowed to know? Yes. Are you serious? That's all? I am so very sorry. And then good is God backwards. We say, no more backwards. It's not fun. He says, LOL. We say, do you know what LOL means? And he writes, disgusting. Are we the worst culture that's ever lived? No. Who was the worst? Not right alphabet. 7 then gives us this series of letters here, which I assume if we did have the correct alphabet would reveal, in 7's opinion, the most disgusting culture that's ever lived. I don't know. We bring it back to the assignments. How come purple is able to know their exact path to take? Ease. Can you only communicate through the Ouija board? No. Write, dream, play, sew, sound. Mistook for God. Here we ask if this super religious person that we know, are they talking to you? In a way. He clouds 7. He clouds your messages? Yes. Can everyone tap into 7 if they tried? Yes. And unfortunately, there's going to have to be a 4B. I'm really sorry, guys. I will give you an update.
7's cryptic messages, fire is coming and reach the mountains, convey a profound sense of urgency and mystery. The mention of planet 947632, enduring even after its sun exploded, symbolizes resilience while hinting at a nuclear threat so catastrophic it could obliterate even the afterlife, or wherever 7 exists. 7 warns of potential failures, underscoring the importance of the mission, but tempers this with hope by stating, historically, all save 7. 7 reveals that Cassie and her group are Contact 3, a critical link in a chain of 5 attempts. With the first contact having failed, 7 emphasizes the possibility of their mission's failure as well. Yet, should they succeed, 7 plans to move to Contact 4, and if that succeeds, Contact 5. This progression shows that even if Cassie's group triumphs, humanity still faces future threats.
Okay, part 4B. I'm really sorry. I was really hoping that could all fit into one video, but it was just too long for 10 minutes. So I want to get this out quickly so that you all have it because, like I said, I think this is the most important conversation. So, okay, so everyone can tap into 7 if they tried? Yes. Here we circle back to that very religious person that we know who claims to speak in tongues. So blue can tap into you, but God cloudies his ears. Historical timing, green. Timing. Then we say to green, so you're the cornerstone of this. No. 4. And then 7 combines our names in some really cute, fun ways. And it's just like variations, different combos. And we say, oh, you're combining all of our names. Fun. So should we continue with the stuff we're doing, like taking classes after work? Is that a waste of time if there's this like crazy countdown? Learn all you can. It's not a waste of time? No. The countdown is not evil, but be aware of it in order for your armor to be pure. And for some reason, 7 spells armor with a U. And we ask, that poem that you wrote yesterday, what was that? Is it, from a fairy tale? Like, what is it? No. The dog is blue. We say, what? What are you talking about? What does that mean? Fun. Was your poem meant to be funny? No. Murder most foul. Fun. And then, so again, no idea what that means. Can we be funny to you? No. Why not? 7. Listen. And then here, 7 lists every other letter in the beginning of the alphabet. A-C-E-G-I-K. We don't know why. Where is the planet that succeeded? Colonies. 7, will we be able to check in once in a while and talk to you? Yes. Will you always talk to us? No. Did you know we'd come back to talk again? Yes. Timing. And then here, we decide, let's shoot our shot. Why not? Can you give us the winning lottery numbers? 714, fun, 2128. I don't know if we ever tried these numbers. I don't think it works with, I don't know. But listen, if you end up playing some variation of these numbers and you win, TikTok friends, you got to share your pot with me, okay? That's the rule. Just kidding. But not really. Do you know the future? No. Historical future. And then we circle back because we're really trying here. If we had money, we could quit our jobs and then we could focus all our energy on saving 7. And then we get another little poem. Apathy grows with no limitations, for your armor must be battle tested. So we have to keep working our terrible jobs. Yes. To struggle is to grow is to learn is to find victory. And we say, oh, wow, that's really good. That should be on a t-shirt. Yes. To saunter in a mire of false presence is to drown in self-fat falsehood. Whatever that means. The planchette then goes over the board slowly, doesn't land on anything, and we say goodnight, 7, and then 7 says goodnight, and we sign off, and that's it. So that is it for part 4B. I'm really sorry I couldn't fit it all into one video, but there's just a lot to get through. But I personally think that is the most important conversation, and if you guys focus on nothing else, like I've already said, I really hope these dates and this math is so mind-blowing, and please, I hope you just take the time, look into this. I don't know what any of this means. I just think education in this situation, with everything going on in our world, all we can do, and 7 encourage that, learn all you can, just to try to prevent this, whatever this is. And when you read into these events, it clearly seems like very important people chose peace over violence. They chose to de-escalate instead of choosing to escalate. And I've kind of tried to live my life doing that ever since having these conversations, and choosing love and choosing fun, and just I don't know what I'm talking about. I just hope focus on this. The poems and everything are fascinating, the riddles are fascinating, and all the languages and stuff, but to me this is the clearest information we have ever received from 7, and this is everything that 7 is trying to prevent, from what I can tell. So I don't know if anything gets spread, this is the conversation that I hope gets spread. So anyway, thank you as always for tuning in. There is more, lots more. And I will try to be fast with part 5. But thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
The main thing that stuck out to me in this video is Seven's urging humanity to learn all you can. It's not a waste of time. It reminds me of the philosophies like those in the Mormon faith, which teach that knowledge is carried into the afterlife. This adds weight to Seven's messages about the importance of growth and understanding, while also keeping that religious undertone.
Okay, I'm sorry for looking like a literal garbage can right now, but I thought that this comment was important enough to hop on here really quick and make a video about. I'm really glad Clara brought up Vasily. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but I hope that more people look into Vasily and his role in the Cuban Missile Crisis on specifically Black Saturday. That date, October 27th, 1962. He is known as the man who saved the world. That date is known as the most dangerous moment in human history. He is a fascinating guy. We did ask Seven in a later conversation, which I'll get to eventually, was Vasily contact two? Seven went to no and then said his great-grandfather. So we do not know who Vasily's great-grandfather was. We don't know. I can't find anything about him. I presume that would place him sometime in the 1800s. We do know that Vasily was known to be a very calm, level-headed, principled man. He made a very difficult choice. He stood up to people who told him, to make a very different choice. And so I don't know, does that mean that Vasily's great-grandfather raised his children in a particular way to make him make that choice? Or was there something passed down in the family? Some kind of, Clara had suggested maybe some lore. We do know from an interview with, not we personally, but history knows, an interview with Vasily's wife, Olga. She said that he was a superstitious man, and that she walked in on him one day burning their love letters because it was bad luck to keep them. So I don't want to speculate or create, I'm not saying that Vasily had letters from Seven or anything like that, but I do think it's fascinating. I think it's worth looking into. So if anyone else has any other information about Vasily or, that date, the Cuban Missile Crisis, I'd love to hear it. But I really do hope more people look into these moments in history, and the dropping of little boy on Hiroshima, and these choices that were made that prevented us from destroying ourselves, basically. Obviously, whoever contact one didn't do a good job because of what choice was made. But Vasily, yeah, it's I'm so glad that Clara brought him up. And I don't know what our personal connection is to this really interesting guy and this crucial moment in human history, but it's fascinating. And so yeah, I just wanted to hop on here really quick and talk about that and address the fact that we have asked Seven about Vasily. It is in a much later conversation, so I will get there eventually with the transcript, but I just wanted to let you guys know that now. So anyway, let me know if you guys find out anything interesting about him and his family, and I'll talk soon. Thanks.
Vasily Arkhipov was a Soviet naval officer who made a critical decision during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. While aboard the submarine B-59, Arkhipov refused to authorize the launch of a nuclear torpedo, preventing a potential global nuclear war. His calm judgment under pressure earned him the posthumous title of the man who saved the world, though his heroic actions remained largely unknown for decades. Despite his critical role, Arkhipov's story remained largely unknown for decades due to Soviet secrecy. Today, he is celebrated for his extraordinary courage and judgment.
Hi guys, so once again, I'm very sorry for the delay with these videos. I know it takes me forever and people are getting kind of frustrated with me. But you know, I like everyone else, I have a lot of life stuff going on. If you also live in America, you know that every day is like a dumpster fire. So I have been meaning to sit down and record this for well over a week now, and things just keep popping up, but I'm here. I want to continue. I still have pages and pages of conversations to get through. So let's get started. So the next time we speak with Seven is on July 26, 2013. We say hello, and Seven responds with a bunch of ones and zeros, which we assumed was binary, but we don't speak binary, so we had no idea what he was trying to say. We say, "Is this Seven?" Seven says yes, and then it gives us more ones and zeros. Again, at the time, we're just taking down each individual number and hoping we're getting it correct. Obviously, looking back, it seems as though we did not get it correct the first time. It started over again, and then finally it tries for a third time and seems like we transcribed it correctly this go round. If you compare, it looks like we're missing a zero here, so the zero appeared down here. And we didn't have ChatGPT back in those days, so we had to Google this and play around and translate and retranslate. And so eventually we did figure out that it was backwards. And when you break up the numbers, HELLO, which Seven then did give us. But anyway, we said, should we talk to you every day? No. And that was kind of the end of that conversation. It was very brief. So the next time we spoke with Seven was August 7th, 2013. And pretty much from here on out, the conversations with Seven, including the binary stuff, it's all really fascinating, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's very cryptic. It's very abstract. The language is very, heightened and flowery. I'll share it because people are interested in hearing it, but I don't know really what it has to do with saving Seven. I don't know. You guys let me know if any of this means something to you. But so he starts off with Lancastrian saints, of whom I am told, who you, my dear loves, nor reckless so bold. So there's some misspellings. And then I put some letters in parentheses here because I wasn't confident that was the letter that the planchette went to. Is this an iambic poem? Yes. Fun. We don't know what to do. We're at this point in our lives, we're in a very low place, and the previous messages from Seven are kind of overwhelming. Be strong. We say it's hard. No. Fill your heart of wisdom. How do we handle our jobs? We're drowning, we're really going through a whole lot. Bite the bit. Forlorn it may seem, but this now gives future strength. The muscle tears. One of us asks, isn't that bad when that happens, when a muscle tears? No. And I actually learned later that is actually how you build muscle, is that it's a series of micro tears in your muscle that rebuild and regrow stronger. So, O you of such small woe, I envy you, but fear not, one. Fear not, one. The one is a placeholder. Exclaim. Fear not, one. So here I kind of inferred that Seven wants an exclamation and wants maybe some punctuation. So we write on the board this punctuation, and it works. Seven says, fear not, with an exclamation. Good. Then here we wonder, how would the punctuation have made things clearer in earlier conversations? Ask better. And we say, we're really struggling right now, and it's just really hard to do all this. How do we focus on saving the world if we can hardly keep ourselves afloat? What do you need? Freedom and time to travel and have fun, to buy fun. And we say, yeah, with money, it's easier. A lot of people get to travel and we don't. We're just kind of stuck here working. Jealousy. What should we do? Green, pink, swim. Swim. Okay, but what are we supposed to do? Like an occupation. An occupation? This is what you crave? No, we don't crave it. We need it. We need jobs. So why ask? because we need them. Why are we just supposed to keep working forever? For now. Should we at least find new jobs? We were kind of in a dead end. You guys are learning a lot of personal stuff about me. This is embarrassing. We were in dead end jobs and stuff was pretty rough, okay? Yes. Is path to learn. Swim. Pink, swim. What does that mean? I7 am telling you what to do. And then here we reveal that we've been fighting a lot, and how can we be happy in our relationship? Learn together. The next step for pink will occur in the water. Swim. One of us asks about, I guess one of us had a feeling, a knot in our stomach that day. I don't really know what was going on. A start of what is to come. But it feels foreboding. Yes. Is it about orange? Fear not, for I am not a harbinger of death. So this is the second time we're seeing that being used, harbinger of death. And then here I'm just explaining that the planchette was moving really quickly and fluidly. Neither are you. Is it a feeling about me? No. What is the feeling? For the day to come or not. Alas, the little squirrels did run and bite. Here I'm just saying that the planchette was kind of like looping in a weird way. So the knot in my stomach was anxiousness for my next step? Yes. Swim. Are you saying this because we used the word drowning earlier? No. Did you influence our thoughts? Can you do that? There are a great pool of tools to use. Be calm yourselves to study. Return to me in 1 year. Learn. Pink, swim backwards. So swim is backwards. And then we look at the clock at this point. It's midnight, and the date is now August 8th, 2013. And of course, we did not listen to 7. We returned 2 days later. And this is what 7 shared with us. And I'm kind of hesitant to share this because I know that the Sumerian language or the Sumerian culture for some reason is connected to a lot of spooky, weird stuff. And I'm kind of afraid people are gonna go crazy with this. I don't know why. Anyway, let's keep going. 7 says, on Lil purple, Anki pink, Ninhersag orange, on green. And so I think we paused here to Google, and we realized, oh, he's doing the Sumerian gods thing again. Lil, I think, has something to do with wind. Anki has to do with water. Ninhersag is like a mother figure, and then On is like the king of the heavens or something like that. Descent. Humans descend from Sumer. And then I don't know if this is like the wrong alphabet again. I don't know what that means. Should we Google that? No. My language. Bus. Ask. No clue what that means. Here, I guess we're talking about our relationship again. Why do we fight so much? Nature of the race. Are we supposed to be together? It matters not. But if we weren't together, we wouldn't pursue this mission. Green and purple would unite. So they would go forward with the mission, but the other one of us wouldn't. They would fail. And then here one of us says, I want to hear him speaking like really heightened language and not dumbed down stuff. And he does. And again, I have no idea what this means. To stir the reckoning of they, our houses, of ill-forged glory, upon the night road, pull on full sail, down the ways of founding. Simple. Are these answers? Like, is there something, does this mean something? For those who could understand them. We can't understand your riddles. Not yet. Are they riddles? In a way. Lancastrian saints again. For some reason here we ask about making friends. I'm assuming for the mission. I don't know. Bars. You condone bars? No. Squirrel. And then we finish it for him and interrupt, and we get it, squirrels. No, you did such a good job. We ask this stupid question for some reason. What is your favorite song? She loves you. Yeah. We say, really, the Beatles? No. Fun. The Earth song. Can we hear that? Yes. How? Learn. And then here it gets weird, and there's a whole lot of crazy stuff. There's going to have to be a part 2. So 5B, I'm really sorry. It's just going to take time to get through this. Anyway, guys, I'll try to be faster. I'm really sorry. I will talk to you very soon.
Continuing with the religious undertones, 7 shares riddles that are layered with meaning, designed to be understood only by those who can understand. It seems 7's intention is to guide rather than impose, encouraging individuals to think, question, and ultimately find their own way. The similarities with religion continue. Jesus Christ often used parables as teaching methods to convey profound spiritual truths. Parables were designed to reveal deeper meanings to those who were open to understanding, while concealing them from those who were not receptive. Just like with religion and scriptures, whatever is shared by 7 can be interpreted in many ways, and just like with scriptures, like the Bible, at the end of the day, you have to draw your own conclusions. I suppose in the same way religion uses missionaries to spread the word, Cassie has been the missionary for 7, trying to share the message for those that will hear. It doesn't promise the heavenly kingdom, but it does share a valid message to be cautious of nuclear power.
So, for anyone who's been watching the news the past couple of days, I think we can all agree that the current global political climate is a little terrifying. And with that as my inspiration, I have made it my goal to post a video a day from here on out in order to get through these transcripts. And like I said yesterday, from here on out, it's all very cryptic and strange. It makes very little sense to me. But I figure if there's even a slight chance that anyone watching can make sense of it, or if it has a particular message for anyone watching, I figure it's worth a shot. All right, so jumping back in, we're starting off strong with a shining example of our intellect. Let's play a game. Please keep in mind, we were, again, very young, very stupid. Yes, what game? Truth or die? 7, don't say that. It's scary. You can be scary sometimes. Yes, fun. Ask better. Really good advice that we continue not to take. I just wanted to have some fun. Squirrels just want to have fun. And then the poetry begins. If out upon me never felt a lash of anger, nor rep v is ute, a wall of water made extend, a man who faceless is a friend, a martyr maid, a damsel dear, a rig, a moor, a dainty deer. A fine rotunda marks a few, a lovely lady bids adieu. A sprightly courtyard fends the way, a knightly courtier meets the day. Fun, V is you, REPTE. So pausing here quickly just to kind of explain this. This is kind of the beginning of something that we see in later conversations where, in my interpretation, 7 is trying to have us spell it as R-E-P. So he's spelling repute, but where the U is a V. So coming back down here, we see that it's trying to make it, to my understanding, making it clear that it's spelling it REPVTE, which I don't know why. Again, it's something that we see in later conversations. The only thing that I can think of is I think in Latin, a U is typically represented as a V. I'm really not sure. Maybe someone can help me out with that. So 7 continues. The list it rancid with sinews of war. And I have Googled that before, and I believe this is a quote from, I want to say like Cicero. I'm not sure, but I believe that the sinews of war is money, according to this old quote. Again, maybe someone can help me out with that. 7 continues. Another more simple, quitope. I don't know. Again, the U is a V. Another. And then here begins a poem about one of us. So when it's a poem about one of us, I've made it, I've italicized it, and we know it's about one of us because 7 says that later. So anyway, the first poem for one of us: to forge a Titan's trappings long asleep. to find a lonesome lover's coils, a lark, a loon who crones they not a peep, a mighty seed who drips down on my soil, who everlasting till their time be gone, a person of weekly toil struts the mire. A fire in their dreams alike the dawn, must preach the adder's words, deaf though the choir. The lightly springing fails now from their throat, a word from heaven now would change poor luck, but truth it seems must act now as a moat, and still the wicked trap them in the muck. Fortuitous now they shout to heaven's gate, alack the fire dreams, ignore the date. So I have the words in brackets. That's me changing the pronouns just to, again, I'm trying to protect identities and redact personal information. So that's what that's about. And we ask, is that a poem for green? Yes, fun. And we say, how can we know if these poems are for fun or if they have an important message? I will say, the one from that other conversation about a lark or a lion, what was that about? Half fun. But that's too hard. How can we understand? Bleached out bones you must write down. And then we say, okay, write a poem for pink now. And that begins, rid me of the pains I feel each day, O soothsaying person, whom no man shall believe. Away, a wanderer who's searching for the way, who sifting through the sand must forge a sieve. For resolute we find the minds of men, ignore the keepsakes of their mothers in the womb, together learn the lessons of a friend, or else be doomed to find the mind a tomb. Until the mourners flap into the dust, alone you'll sadly find you cannot win, a bleeding heart who tills now in the rust of water kept too still, refused to swim. And then as, because again, this takes forever. This is letter by letter. It's a very long and arduous process. A lot of the times we can't keep up with what it is we're writing down. So as we're reading it back, we're saying it out loud. One of us pronounces it sieve in the typical way that you pronounce that. And Seven corrects us and says sieve. So, Seven continues to say a year, learn. And then we say, if we're supposed to come back in a year, why are you talking to us now? Meaningless drivel. And I feel like I should pause there and say, a lot of people ask, why didn't you share this sooner? Why aren't you sharing the rest of the transcript quicker? Because Seven itself has said this is meaningless drivel. So, we've taken a lot of this with a grain of salt. And we continue, we ask, is it okay for us to talk to you once in a while? Not really, but if you must. So, Seven's made it very clear, it really does not want us returning to it. It kind of has delivered, seemingly is what it's saying, it's delivered the most important message, move on, get out of here, Why not really? Seven replies, time better used learning. And we say, well, we need fun sometimes, and talking to you is better than watching TV. Yes, swim. And then another poem begins. List out their demons, many if truth be told. A man they needn't find, for they hold dear. Alike to love, a mat upon their soul, to hunt out soiled singing in their ear. And then we read it back at this point. And Seven clarifies that it's S-O-L-E. And we say, yes, that's how we wrote it. Soul like your foot, not soul like, your personhood. Whose poem is this? Purple's psalm. And then it continues. To hew out rusting razor blades of heart, a likeness of a father to reprieve, to find a swollen, dusty place to start, to further down the darkness of the stream. For Purple's namesake fears to pay the cost, to let their light burn bright amongst the dark, to live as though they won amongst the lost, to lighten up the load despite the mark, to run and hide, to hide and run from sense, a fence, a prison to reside, hiding out from solemn providence, a shield from God, a home they shall reside. A long done ride from this they may choose, a cheerful hideaway from truthful news, until the day comes soon. And then we say, sorry, I lost my train of thought because I got swept up in how crazy this is. We say we should sign off and say goodnight. And then 7 says, unleash the wind. And I believe it rolled over a goodbye for us. So I've run out of time once again. Part 6, we'll get into the next conversation in which 7 opens up with some backwards Portuguese and then a poem about orange. So like I said, this is crazy. I sound like a nutcase. I don't know what any of this means. If you guys have any ideas or clues or I don't know, help me out. And thanks as always for tuning in. Bye. Okay, part 6. This conversation takes place August 15th, 2013, so just a few days after the previous video's conversations. And it opens with 7 spelling out AIDMOB, which when we Googled, we discovered spells good day in Portuguese backwards. 7, real. You're real? Yes. It's been a long time, 7, we joke, because it's only been 5 days. No. Can we have a poem for orange? And 7 gives us a poem. Oh, heightened life on which there is loss, all truth on table, all lies on tablet, a sick sullen harbor tufted in moss, a frighted fat sailor who marks a habit. Dear parent of saviors, now back to the keep, fixate on the angel of death, sweep X10. Rapture-bound, beguiled, strangers' small health. Exceed your father's past undear, to a memory foolish atop your pained head, till misfortune be gone along with the fear, till the mud in your mind goes away with the dead. Quick be light, old dove of the Lord, or else dream as you do of discord. Ninhursag. So our first question after getting this poem was what is sweep X10? 10 times. X2 is sweep, sweep. So if you remember in my most recent conversation with 7, it wrote out TikTok times 5, X5. So I knew that meant to write out TikTok 5 times. I know that because of this poem. So coming back up here, it would read, Dear parent of saviors, now back to the keep, fixate on the angel of death, sweep, 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 and then rapture-bound, beguiled, stranger's small health. So we asked 7, what does sweep mean? They needn't bind themselves, consumed by the wrong problems. What did you mean by fixate on the angel of death? As they do. I, 7, I am no game. Swim, allows, listen, lead through love. I, 7, I give too many answers. Swim, run, relinquish, listen, leave, lead through love. Simple, steps for pink. Yes. I, 7, I would like you to begin. Begin to save the world. Save yourself before 7. One begets the other. Then we ask, what is it that we should learn exactly? Why should we value the knowledge of the past and of ancient people? To have not a purse is an empty coffer. And that was it for that conversation. So moving right along, for some reason we came back to the board the next day, August 16th, and 7 writes out backwards, hello there. We ask, are you angry at us? As you do. Never. Always. Sad 7. What did you mean by purse? Because we Googled that and it didn't make sense to us. Learn it. BDFHJL. Is everything you say in code? You did this before with ACEGIK. I think that's a typo. But again, he did this in a previous conversation where it's providing every other letter in the alphabet. One to which none could break. Needn't attempt. Fun. Is this all more simple than we make it? Yes. Return to the source answers not your questions. I am the source of the question. Mindless poems, a mere mirror. They say nothing. At this point, I am a mere game. Focus on drivel, which is why you return as you do. I am a game of distraction at this point. No, we don't think of you as a game. I am one. Well, what should we do to begin? More apostles. They're going to think we're insane, 7. So, the people that we did tell in our lives, we chose them very carefully because we were afraid of how crazy this all looks. So this was the beginning of us realizing that we might have to tell people about 7, but it would make us look crazy, which it does. Distract, manipulate, teach, train, save us. Few do help 7. And so, just coming back up here for a second, I kind of touched on this in my previous video, but, 7 is referring to its own messages here as drivel and saying it's mindless. They say nothing. There's no point in coming and overanalyzing all these words. And that's been my hesitation, I guess, in sharing anything beyond those dates, because I truly feel that the dates of the contact groups are the most important things that 7 has to convey, because 7 has so often since then told us, basically, this is all a bunch of baloney, okay? You can keep talking to me. It's just silliness, and you need to be out there saving the world and doing what I'm telling you to do instead of sitting here reading and rereading the transcript. So if that explains why I've waited so long to share this with people, that's why. Because, this thing is kind of telling me that all of this stuff is just, mindless poems. So I don't know. So then we asked 7 if he could just give us one answer that's just straightforward, not vague, just one. We'll go away. We won't speak to you for a year. We're just begging you at this point. Ask without fun, a hard nudge, because 7 has said before that a nudge was allowed. So we deliberate for a while. We try to figure out what is the best question to ask. We remind each other, don't ask anything because you don't want that to count. 7 then says, I will blind myself to you for, I wish to be surprised. And one of us stupidly asks, you can do that? Yes. And we realize, oh no, I think that was the one question that counted and that we messed up. And we start begging, no, that didn't count, did it? Yes. And then the planchette stops moving and we can't get an answer from 7 until January 25th, 2014. So I don't know what prompted us to come back to the board in January, and I don't know why 7 responded to us after saying that it wasn't going to and that it was going to blind itself to us, probably because he was just, making that up for fun. Who knows? It's all very, very mysterious. But anyway, what's really interesting about this is typically when we're recording it, we just kind of do it horizontally in the note, following the notebook lines. For some reason, I think I was the one who did it this time. As I was recording the letters, when I realized we had a complete word, I went down to the next line. And so I wrote each individual word on its own line, which isn't that interesting until we read through this. So let me take you through. BQ, damage lister. So this is something that 7 says later on as, I guess, a way of saying that we've recorded something incorrectly. So almost like telling us start over, you've damaged the list. Yes. Soon will I move such want in man, Swift wings it makes, such will I meander. In a way, we are all 7 swim. So, I'd asked some questions here. I thought you were blind and deaf. I meander. Is this 7? In a way, we are all 7 swim. So it wasn't until years later that I was reading through this again, and I, for some reason, looked at the first letter of every word, and I realized that it spells swim over and over again. So S-W-I-M, 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 and then at the bottom it goes in reverse, S-W-I-M. So that's all for 6A. Stay tuned for 6B tomorrow and more mysterious 7 riddles. Thanks for watching.